Welcome to the Single H Show presents Transparenting, Davis. And today on the Single H Show presents Transparenting, I'm gonna be brutally honest with everybody. I have had a roller coaster week this week with many ups and downs. I don't have to be shy or coy on this podcast about how I feel about things. I have never more in my life been disappointed by American culture than I am at this moment. I found myself at moments before November the 5th, Tuesday, November the 5th, actually questioning why am I even nervous about this? Surely we still live in a culture of civilized people who would not elect a hateful person who only ever uses hate speech in their speeches and candidacy speeches and so forth. Surely that can't happen to being a person that went to bed Tuesday night angry at America. I need to express that honesty, because through that honesty, I need to share with you. I've posted this on the Transcended Instagram page. I literally put down, this country shared tonight that it does not care for my wife. This country shared tonight it does not care for my mom. This country shared tonight it does not care for my daughter. This country shared tonight that it does not care for my transgender son. And I went to bed really upset. Like, a lot of things have happened. I have completely shut down my Facebook page. I have decided as a transparent, I don't want my kid's image on the internet. Starting for the next 4 years, my child's image will not be on the internet. So I shut down my Facebook page. Dear family members that may listen to this, don't panic. You'll get pictures of the kids through texting and so forth. But I never more in my life have I felt like that I have needed to protect something more than Single H's journey as a transgendered person. So I completely shut down my Facebook. So that's something I'm processing. We still have the social media for Transcended Media. We try to do minimal personal pictures on there anyway. We do LGBTQIA plus positive motivating memes and so forth on there. So there is some protection on that. Always this journey, we do have a YouTube presentation of these podcasts, but literally you can't see us on it. It's nothing more than like a movie poster over these conversations. So I decided Tuesday night to become uberly protective of Single H, that I shut down my Facebook. So now we still journey through things with Instagram or so forth. Now, within this journey of some pits, there's been some high points, and I want to talk about this on a level with you as a parent of a transgender child, and the things I wrestle with as a parent of a transgender person. So the thing I wrestle with is this. I want to be protective of Single H. I want to be protective of his identity so much that I've pulled him off of Facebook. I've shut down my Facebook page that there's no longer pictures that can be seen. That was my decision. The immediate question that came in the house then became, what about the Single H Show? So I want to talk about this journey. This became sort of a valley of the shadow of death for me, And it also became this beautiful image of a table set beside still waters. I have worked very hard with Single H over the years, specifically through the Single H show, of being a voice of his own personal advocacy, teaching him, empowering him through the usage of this podcast on how to say who he is, how to proclaim what he needs, how to speak angrily about things that disappoints him, how that he can flush out through these conversations and assist other people through their own journeys by being honest and vulnerable about his own. And the conversation in the house became, do we stop the Single H show? So as a person of personal advocacy, I calmed myself down a little bit. I forced myself to really process, okay, over the last X amount of years of Single H's journey, I have empowered him to have a voice in this means. So do I take that voice away, or do we do things in a radically different way that he can still have his voice and protect him? But if I have taught him self-advocacy over the expanse of his years, I needed to include him in this conversation. So Single H really not at all upset about his image leaving Facebook or what have you, as long as we did have ways for grandma to have pictures cross country or what have you, to be a part of his life. And we have that, thankfully, through our personal life, our personal phones, we can text and everything. So there's one person not neglected from Single H's journey. But then I said, okay, kid, you're okay with the picture, so what does that mean about the podcast? And I looked at him, I said, listen, it's not going to hurt me. I'm already taking your picture down off of the internet. I'm ready to have no social media exposure at all. What about the podcast? So something magical happened. Single H looked at me straight in the eyes, and God bless, you're going to hear the preacher curse, because the preacher heard his son curse, and it was the right usage of curse words at the right moment. I looked at Single H and I said, do we stop the podcast now? And he looked at me dead in the eyes and he said, if we were going to stop doing this when things got hard, why did we fucking start it to begin with? And I said, kid, awesome. I am quite proud of being the father of Single H. I'm quite proud of being a part of this young man's life and being a part of everything that this young man is a part of. That young man has been the inspirational, motivating source in my life of why that I go to school board meetings and why I stand on the side of red dots, red pockets in our conservative state, and hold up advocacy signs and so forth for the community to see, because of how tough Single H is. So I'm quite pleased to be that young man's father. So we're not stopping the Single H show. There, you will actually probably get 2 podcasts this week. One, a transparenting, and another, the Single H show. But I know I wanted to do a transparenting today, because I know that I am not the only person that experienced what I was feeling on Tuesday night. I know that I'm not the only parent in this world that has had their child blessed, not mutilated, not scarred, but blessed of being able to be a part of a transformative journey that is helping them see the wholeness of their identity. And then magically in one day, I am looking towards Inauguration Day as what do we do to help this young friend continue on his journey of self-care? What do we do? Because there's freedom. There's freedom in Single H's life, and I immediately became panicked. What do? We won't know. We won't know until all of these agendas and proposals are put into place. All right, we won't know until Project 2025 starts to fully open and restrict everyone's civil liberties. We won't know. And we are on this really, really scary journey, especially if you are a parent of an LGBTQIA plus child, especially if you are a parent of a transgender child who is blessed by being able to feel the wholeness of their true identity by your supportive actions and them receiving puberty blockers, testosterone, estrogen, whatever it may be, to help them grow into who they are. Tuesday night became very scary for a large mass of people who just want their kids to grow up. Because we've talked frequently on this Single H show of what happens when supportive care disappears. Individuals slip into different levels of depression. They're unable to see the person that they truly are in the mirror. They're not allowed to go through the process. They're not allowed to use their name, their pronouns. And it becomes very scary. I am so happy that we got Single H's documentation done. It's done. It's locked in stone. And so Single H's name, gender marker is all on a piece of paper. And when the masses start pushing back, we've got that piece of paper to say, you can't do this. This is him. This is your rules in effect. So I'm scared. And I want every other parent of an LGBTQIA plus child to know, if you feel scared today, you're absolutely not alone. I am scared. Please email me at thesingleHshow@gmail.com and share with me that you're scared. Let's start communication with each other. Let's start supporting each other. There's a high possibility, as I process this journey within myself, Transparenting might become a weekly podcast along with the Single H Show. And I want to have these journeys and these conversations with you as a trans parent, trying to just take care of my kid, trying to just keep my kid mentally healthy within his journey. I never dreamed or fathomed that we would be here today. I never dreamed or fathomed that I don't have to hold back because of my career on this podcast. That hate would have taken over so much. That hate could have overrun everything to this extent that we're in this place right now. And I want everybody to know that if you are trying to make America great again, fuck you. I'm not in my career right now, and I'm expressing my reality of feelings. Because this isn't America great again. Hate has never been a part of making America great. I don't get it. I have watched this man since that he was Bobby Lashley's manager when he wrestled Umaga at WrestleMania and Vince McMahon had his head shaved. I've watched this man for many years on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. There is this production of just narcissistic, toxic garbage that has always spewed. And enough people in this country has drank that Kool-Aid enough that they voted for his hate instead of voting for the black lady. And I want to be that honest too. I looked over some reports that came out that broke things down culturally for the election. And through looking at these things culturally, here's what I saw. The areas of cultural life that was more than 50% of that culture voting for President Trump was white men and women, both over 50% of those cultural categories voted for Trump, and also Hispanic males. Let's talk about all of this for a second. Now, I am a Caucasian person, so I don't exist within Hispanic culture, but I do know from my career, from life, Hispanic cultures are predominantly Catholic, and Hispanic cultures are traditionally masculine-led. So we're dealing with this issue in that category of individuals that are, one, immediately opposed to abortions because of a religious value. And we also have this culture of masculine leadership that there's no way that they're going to vote for a female person to be president. So we're dealing with that. And that's why over 50% of male Hispanics voted for Trump. That's just out of things that we know. Now let's move into the white base. If you look at mega churches, you see something in common. You see a lot of white people sitting together hearing a prosperity gospel. If you look at mega churches, you see a lot of white people that don't allow females to be pastors. They don't allow females to lead adult Bible studies, to have any form of leadership, any form of church leadership, from a business manager to even associate pastor, lead pastor, is chopped down that female leaders are not allowed to lead the men. So we are dealing with a predominantly white mega church culture that MAGA has seduced, because even within the mega church diagram, framework, we look at the things like Joel Osteen. We hear this prosperity gospel. This is what you need to do, and this is what you need to do to be successful and to succeed in life and to have everything that you've ever dreamed of. The whole MAGA agenda is saturated in the prosperity gospel to the extent that we don't look at what we're doing. We just follow like lemmings and lambs to the slaughter. Every time that I have watched this, President Trump speak, I have never heard anything that would make anything make sense to me of why that he would be elected to be a leader of our country at any level, not even as a meter maid. There's nothing about him that screams this is the person, other than he hates the people that a mass populace hates, and he was not the black woman. That is the only thing that shows. And when I look at this chart that I'm looking at, when I see that the places that over 50% of the cultural base voted, it's Hispanic males and white men and women. That all screams back, one, I won't vote for a woman because they shouldn't be leaders, and two, I won't vote for her because of her religious values. And really painfully, racism screamed loudly on November the 5th this year because her ethnicity had a lot to do with why she didn't win. And it did not help that she was also a female. So do not come back with me with President Obama, because you all know that it's her femininity that also played into that. So how do we get out of this? How do we work through this? How do we process this? Well, we keep talking to each other. We keep caring for each other. We keep doing things that we have to do. We turn to people and allow them to have an authority and a voice in their life, especially that the government will, through Project 2025, try to take that voice away. We need to empower as many people possible to go out and defend the rights of every person in this country, because we cannot let hate destroy where we are. I want us to process all those things. Please email me at thesingleageshow@gmail.com so that we can talk through these things. And the Transparenting may become a weekly podcast, because I'm scared, and I know there's many others out there that are scared as well. Thank you for letting me process this with you, flush this out with you. Thank you for listening today. That was Transparenting.